So today we're going to talk about my thoughts on the whole Twitter thing, on Trump, on the Republicans winning the House, the Democrats winning the Senate. Because it's been about 3 weeks, almost a month since my last episode. So there's a lot to go over, and I'm going to try to go over as much as I can in a short amount of time. So bear with me. Let's dive in right away. I'm Laoch, and this is Laoch's When the Hammer Drops. All right, folks. So much has happened. If you've been paying attention to any of the news outlets, you've heard that Trump's running in 2024. You've heard Elon Musk has released the Twitter files on everything. The Republicans have won the House. The Democrats obviously won the Senate, or there's going to be a draw, but essentially because of Kamala Harris right there. And then, but I guess my question is what are they hiding? I have some questions. I mean, in this time that I've taken away, I've had time to, still research and stuff like that. But, most importantly, I want to make sure that with me being away as long as I have, I wanted to just sit back and really think about everything that's going on before I make, any kind of judgments or anything like that. And I think I've had plenty of time, and I think there's more to it than we are seeing. I think there's more to it behind the scenes. Do I think that McCarthy, now that I've had time to actually sit back and think about this, do I think McCarthy and the Republicans are going to actually do what they say they're going to do? Probably not. Do I think that, Elon Musk is a white hat? I'm on the fence, and I'll explain why here in a little bit, but I'm still on the fence about that. I for a man that, wants to put computer chips in people's brains and stuff like that, and he believes in transhumanism and all that, and he's got very strong ties with the CCP in China. I don't know. And I'll get into that as well. So that's kind of what the base of this whole show today is going to be about. But it's good to be back. I've missed you all. I thank you all for still listening to all the episodes that are currently out there right now. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So thank you. If you're listening to this on podcast, do me a favor if you can, because it's going to help with the algorithms. Give me a 5-star review, 5-star and a review. It's going to definitely help. And do the same thing if you're watching this on either YouTube or Rumble. Like it, subscribe to the channels, share. It's going to help get all this information out to others, because there's a whole slew of it. Before I jump into anything major, one thing I want to point out, and one thing I do want to say is, if you haven't watched it yet, go, and it's on Rumble, Died Suddenly. It's definitely a documentary that is worth watching, especially with everything that's going on, with COVID and all that. Definitely go watch that. It would definitely, some of the stuff that they're pulling out of people, these clots, it's just simply disgusting, and makes you wonder what's actually in the vaccine, because nobody's asking what's in the vaccine. If you actually look at the paperwork that comes with any vaccines, usually it has a list of stuff, that probable side effects, blah, 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 everything, information about it, what's in it. The ones that are coming for Pfizer vaccine or Moderna vaccine or anything like that, it's completely blank. So you have no idea what is actually going into your body. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to put something I don't know what the hell it is into my body. And that's why I pat myself on the back, and many of you out there that haven't gotten the vaccine, I pat you on the back as well, and congratulations for not getting duped into it. Which I guess that kind of makes me wonder, because I know that there's 7.5 billion people in the world, right? And you have people like Bill Gates who preach all the time in the WEF, that preach all the time that we have to bring down the population and all that stuff. What if this wasn't, or what if this was one of the ways that they're helping to bring down the population? Because people are dying all the time from, unknown reasons, just suddenly. And they're not linking it to COVID, but 90% of the people that are dying suddenly have gotten the COVID vaccine. So, you have healthy people having heart attacks, and the clots that they're pulling out of these people are just crazy. So I think there's something there. What better way to hide and kill millions of people than with a vaccine that the people are trusting the government that they're going to have their best interest in mind, which we haven't learned by now. They don't. Our governments do not have our best interest in mind. They don't care about us. It's all about control for them. But that's for another day. So let's keep on going on with the show. I guess I'm going to start off with Elon Musk. Do I like what he's doing with Twitter? I do. I think what he's doing with Twitter by bringing back Trump, by bringing free speech back to the platform is a great thing. I know that I see that, you have the Democrats up in arms now, especially with all the Twitter files that have been released that shows that they were heavily involved in suppressing information for the 2020 election. They were heavily involved of suppressing information for this election as well. When you have, especially out there in Arizona, Hobbs, who was, when being part of the Secretary of State, was suppressing information to help her, basically win Arizona. But see, and here's the other flip side, which a lot of people don't seem to understand. Yeah, Kari Lake all of a sudden is a Trump supporter, patriot, all this fun stuff, and it could happen, but it was just years ago, a few years back, where she was a huge Obama supporter, where she was knocking on doors and stuff for Obama. So that has a red flag raised for me. And also has a red flag raised for me when it comes to Trump a little bit. Like, why are you backing this person who was obviously a backer of Obama? And if she was a backer of Obama, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't back Clinton on Biden as well. Then, what's that? Tulsi, whatever her last name is. Yeah, my views on her are, at first it sounded really good. That, hey, she quit the Democratic Party. She's a patriot. She was out there with the Republicans and all that stuff for the midterms. And I guess my concern with that is that when she was with the Democratic Party, she has ties with the CCP in China. She has ties with, other communist nations, and she was photographed with Antifa as well. And so there's a lot of things about her that I've been able to dig into a little bit that are starting to raise, questions for me. Do I trust her? No. I know that she's head of the PSYOP for the United States Army and all that stuff. So she's good. She knows how to do PSYOPs. And that's, I think, what's happening here. And why not bring her into it? Do I think that, anybody can change. But as of right now, I still think, because everybody is on her bandwagon, that they all need to step back and honestly just look at it, where she's coming from. She just left the Democratic Party, and what she did when she was with the Democratic Party. You got to keep that stuff in the back of your head, and don't trust her completely. And just like Kari, I don't trust her completely. I think there's something more that's going on there. Was the election in Arizona stolen? I do believe so. I guess you can call me an election denier. Just like Hakeem Jeffries, right? The newly elected head of the Democratic Party for the House minority, Hakeem Jeffries, who, by the way, is nothing more than a huge election denier, because he was saying when Trump won that, Russian collusion, and it has been, once again, all of that has been proven that Trump was right. that there was no collusion, except for maybe with Hillary. Outside of that, but again, what do I know? I'm just a small town guy that gets on this microphone and gets this podcast out to you so you can make the decision yourself. But I know I kind of jumped off subject, but back to Elon Musk. As much as I hate to say it, and I know I'm going to get some slack for this, I don't trust him. I think there's something more to it. It's making me wonder especially with Kari Lake, Elon Musk, and Tulsi or whatever the hell her name is, especially with all three of those, what are they hiding? What is the Democratic Party hiding? What is the Republican Party hiding? Because you have McCarthy, who's claiming that he's going to do this, and this, to get the American people behind the Republican Party. Do I think that a damn thing's going to happen come January? No. Biden's going to write out the last 2 years of his thing, of the House, being president, whatever. And he's going to run again. And they're going to cheat the election again. And it's just going to be an endless cycle. But my question to you, the patriots out there, is when is enough enough? When are we going to get sick and tired of being conditioned to make, for all this to be okay? Because that's essentially what is happening right now, is everybody is being conditioned to accept the outcomes of these things. And nobody's saying nothing. Nobody's doing nothing. Nobody cares. There's people like me that get on these podcasts and say what we got to say to try to get that information out to you. And yet there's not many of us that are doing it. We need more people to step up to the plate and actually do something. We can't do it all. And I'm not saying that I'm doing a lot. I'm doing what I can, but it's just one. I mean, we get a PSYOP after PSYOP after PSYOP that's happening. We got the Republican Party doing it. We got the Democratic Party doing it. We got China doing it. I mean, while I'm talking about China, what the hell's going on over there? You have the people are protesting like crazy because of zero COVID policy, which is going to be coming here eventually. What's going on in China? You can kind of see it. The DNC wants that to happen here. That's why Joe Biden is destroying America, and we're all letting them do it. We've been conditioned to accept the fact that we're going to spend over $3, $3.50, $4 a gallon for gas. We've been conditioned to accept the fact that we're going to spend double what we should be paying at the grocery store. I mean, let's not even talk about the food shortages that are pending for next year and all that stuff, because we're still surviving on last year's crops. Just wait until next year, folks. It's going to be a lot worse because we didn't have the fertilizer like we did the year prior. We didn't have some of the things that we had like we had the year prior. So everything we're eating right now is last year's stuff. It's from last year. So when we come into this time next year, they're not talking about it because they don't want to. They're trying to figure out a way to be able to make it okay that it's going to condition you to accept it. And right now, they want you to eat the WEF. And other organizations, they want you to eat crickets for protein. They want you to eat bugs. That's why you had Nicole Kidman out there eating bugs. I mean, come on. Wake up already, folks. What more is it going to take for you to wake up? I mean, Elon Musk, okay, it's all about free speech. Free speech, free speech, free speech, okay? Great. I'm all for it. It's all about the Constitution, this and that. But have you noticed, and I'm not a religious guy. I mean, as many of you know, you can see the hammer that I have, and I'm a pagan. I'll be the first one to admit it. But the one thing that makes me concerned, especially with Elon Musk, is all the talks that he's doing. But there's one thing he's not mentioning at all. And that's, for Christians, God. I mean, let's be honest. Does it need to be? No, I don't think it does. But I know that when it comes to the Constitution, that Constitution and religion are, kind of hand in hand. And there's nothing going on there as far as that goes. So I'm really, really, wary when it comes to Musk. So as I'm going to do, and again, like I said in the top of the program, one of the things about Musk that concerns me the most is that he's praised the CCP and the way they do things. He has very strong ties with China, especially when it comes to materials for all of his electric cars and Starlink and all that stuff. He wants to put chips inside people's heads. Actually, he's about ready to do that, I think, in the next couple weeks, the first one. So, yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't want that kind of shit in my head, especially with everything else. So I'm going to do some more digging on this whole Elon thing, and I may just do one complete show, just nothing about Elon, and kind of go from there. Now, I want to talk about Trump. So Trump, a few weeks back, announced that he's going to run for president in 2024. I know a lot of you are, happy that he's going to run. Am I happy? I don't know. Because, and here's the thing, and I think the reason why I'm not sure is because, honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of hearing all of these promises and all this stuff that's going to happen. And it's like this, and this, and nothing ever fucking happens. It's like you're beating a dead horse. You're telling us all this stuff, all this positive stuff, and yet nothing happens. So if nothing's going to happen, why the fuck am I going to vote for you? We're not. Let's just take off the table here real quick, folks, that Trump by any means is going to become the Speaker of the House and is going to impeach Biden and Kamala Harris and is going to retake, his rightful place as president. Because let's face it, with what the Twitter files have been released, we have an illegitimate president in office right now. Biden is not the president. Prove me wrong on that one. But it's funny because all the other news Fox News is covering it, which is surprising. And I still don't trust Fox News because since Trump has announced that he's going to run for office, they fired Laura Trump, which is, yeah. So I still don't trust Fox. Yeah, they are, whatever. But I just don't trust them. And every other news organization out there, like NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, none of them's really given the whole Twitter files any news, really, anything. That's why I don't think anything's going to happen to Biden. Regardless of all the proof we have, nothing's going to happen, especially when the new Congress takes over. Zero is going to happen. So right from the get-go, folks, get that out of your head. And when they do announce that this is going to happen, that they're going to, question all these people, that's all they're going to do. If you're lucky, they're going to question them, and it's going to take 2 years for them to question. And by then, it's going to be the next presidential election. So with that being said, yeah, do I think, honestly, I hope DeSantis runs. I really do. And I hope, because I think DeSantis will do good for our country. He's a lot like Trump, but a lot more polished, I believe. And I think he would do great. But the only thing I don't like about DeSantis is the meetings he's taken with like Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan and all them, because those guys are rhinos. So I'm not too keen on that. But again, we'll see what happens. But the best news out of everything that's happened is that Nancy Pelosi has been fired as the Speaker of the House. Yay! Go home, Nancy. Go back to your husband. I think he can use you. She was, but I think she got everything that she needed to get from being the Speaker of the House, because her son has good major deals with, for making batteries and all that stuff with Taiwan and China and all that good stuff. You see what's going on here? So, yeah. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what's been happening over the last, I'm still trying to put pieces together because, a lot has happened. We sent over another, I think it was like they wanted to send over another 400 million or 400 billion or whatever the hell to Ukraine. And that's just a joke in itself. The whole Ukraine war is complete bullshit. And I'll say it, I don't care. It's nothing more than a money laundering scheme, as we've seen with the FTX and the money going from Ukraine to them back to the DNC and elections from this previous election. And then all of a sudden, poof, now they're gone. But folks, be very wary on that one, because Biden wants to have a digital currency, and they've already got it in the test market right now for some of the banks. And it's currently being done. So that's going to be a huge concern, because that's something we do not want. But with what happened with FTX, they're going to use that as, well, we need to have regulations on this, and this is what we can do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And that's how they're going to roll out digital currency. You don't want digital currency. You don't. Because if you speak out like I do, this episode right here, or any one of my episodes, could put a red flag for a social credit score, and I can be prevented from buying water, or be prevented from buying bread or whatever. Or if I go to a fast food place, well, guess what? You can't go to that fast food place anymore. So they're going to shut it off so you can't. This is what's going to happen. This is what's happening in China. You need to, and I know I talk a lot about China in a lot of my shows, and the reason why I do is because you got to look at China, folks. Seriously, look at China and what's going on over there, because it's only a matter of months before it comes here. It happens here. Started off again with COVID. Was it a few months after it broke off in China? Where did it come? Right here, all over the world. And right now, all over the world, they are doing the central digital banks. They want the digital currency, and all over the world they're doing it. So be very wary on it. Do not agree to it. And then you have countries like Ukraine that have this universal income that they've been rolling out. There's something else that they're toying with for here. So it doesn't matter if you are this or that or this. Everybody gets paid a certain amount. It's about control. He who controls the money controls everything. And that is what's in play right now. Remember that. As much as I know that this show today might be a little bit of a downer, but hopefully it wakes some of you people up. This is a red pill that you guys need to, and I'm not even going to say it's a red pill. It's a pill that you need to swallow. It's a pill that you need to know, and it's a pill that you have to do your own research on to fully be able to understand. Because I can sit here on this microphone and tell you until I'm blue in the face that, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is why this is going to happen, and this is why. And I'm not expecting you to believe me. Believe me, I'm not. That's why I always say, do your own homework. And once you do your own homework, once you jump down that rabbit hole, folks, there's no looking back, because you're going to keep going, and the things you find are going to blow your mind. So I think with that, that's a nice little spot for me today to stop. What I will do is today's Monday, so I will try to be back at least maybe Wednesday, or if not Friday, for another show, and get back on a normal schedule for you. It was nice to take a few weeks off with the holidays and stuff like that. I know with Christmas and New Year's coming up, I count on maybe at least one episode for each one of those weeks, because you know what? It's about family. It's about spending time with family, and that's what it's about. I'm not expecting you guys to listen to me during those holidays. Come on. So until the next time, folks, be good to one another. And again, do your homework on this. And then you'll start to see what I'm seeing. Now, one more thing before we go. If you haven't already, make sure you follow the channel on YouTube and Rumble. like, share, subscribe. Definitely on the podcast platforms. You can find me on any of the podcast platforms. All you have to do is put in search Laoch When the Hammer Drops, and it's going to fully pop up. Just do me a favor. Don't forget to give me 5 stars and give me a review. It's going to help me beat the algorithms and get out to more people. All right. Now, until the next time, we'll see you guys soon.